Come to me, you who are burdened by anxiety, struggle, pain, I will give you rest. Jesus said, we have a person who has taken this as her motto, as her career. Hello, welcome to Wordnet Productions, and I'm Father Sony Sebastian. Today we have Dr. Rocio Garcia, a clinical psychologist. She has a doctorate in clinical psychology, and she, along with a few of her friends, have organized or established an institute called Safe Harbor Catholic Institute. We are so happy to have Rocio in our studio to share with us about her life, what led her to this program, as well as all that she does in the Catholic Church to help people deal with psychology, deal with their own personal situations. Welcome, Rocio. Welcome to Wordnet.
Thank you, Father Sony. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Now, Rocio, you know, we're talking about psychology, psychotherapies, psychiatrists. What led you to this field of medicine, to be a psychologist and to also work with people who are going through depression and mental illness?
Well, the difference between psychiatrist and psychologist, it's that psychiatrist deals with the fluids and the chemicals of the body that goes to the brain. That's more the biological part. And we deal with mental illnesses, more behavioral. That we work with, we learn how to deal with those behavioral situations, or also like a trauma or some kind of experience that leads us to have a panic attacks or anxiety attacks. It's different.
What is the reason for you to take up this kind of a job?
Okay, I was working in the church as a leader for several years, more than 20 years, my husband and myself, and we noticed that a lot of people go to live a retreat, a spiritual retreat, and start going to church, but there's some point that they, for any reasons, they retire from church, and there's, you know, go back to their old life. So we was wondering what's going on, and we noticed that a lot of people are dealing with more than just spiritual issues, but more with trauma, mental issues. So there was this priest that he was a spiritual director for more than 20 years, and he taught to us, and he asked us to invite us to go back to school and get the education to become a psychotherapist. We did, and we graduated with a master's degree. We make the call to professionals, and there was this friends. We got together and we created Safe Harbor. And our pastor, Father Edmundo, he is the chairman of the organization. We created this nonprofit organization with professionals to serve the church, the Catholic Church. This is the first organization on the country serving the Catholic community.
Now, you said you and your husband together, and unfortunately your husband passed away, you mentioned to me, during COVID. But we hope, we pray for him, and may the good Lord grant him eternal rest. The Safe Harbor Catholic Institute, I was going through your website, and there it says the mission statement is to alleviate suffering with mental health, professional resources that can combine faith and psychological approaches. So how do you provide? You say that, you know, people who are suffering, you are trying to alleviate the suffering of those people who are struggling with psychological, you know, with problems that are related to psychology, mental health. So what are the kind of programs that you have?
The approach. Okay, in psychology, we learned that there is a triangle for to be healthy. You know, the three sides of the life. We need to be equally socially, mental, and physically healthy in order to have complete health. But we use a different triangle. The first one, the first part, in the basic one, the foundation is spirituality, connection with God. In any way, we ask our clients to connect with God. Through any group retreat, we provide different information that the church has for the spiritual connection with God, and then we ask them to also check the make sure that they are healthy physically, eating good diet, sleeping, and getting their medicines. And the other part is psycho-emotional part. That's where we work with scientific emotional part. We work with the scientific approaches like CBT, cognitive therapy.
What is CBT?
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
And we use a different approach, emotional therapy. There are different approaches, psychological approaches that we use, but mainly we are prepared to use EMDR. EMDR, it means eye movement desensitization reprogramming. That is another new approach that helps. EMDR. It's stimulating the brain through the movement of the eyes.
Okay.
So we can help the client to reprocess the traumatic events that are producing the anxiety or depression or the trauma. That's why we specialize in trauma. And right now we are having different programs. We have two parts. We have the psychoeducational part, and we have the professional part. The professional part is a psychotherapy, professional therapy, therapy with professionals specializing on trauma. And we have the other part that is psychoeducation. Psychoeducation includes the trainings for the staff at parishes that is called First Aid Mental Health, and another type of workshops that we offer to the parishes, so they can have and they can give psychoeducation to the people, because we have to eradicate the stigma at church that we have, especially with the Hispanic community. This diocese has more than 2 million Catholics. 56% are Hispanic immigrants. So most of them don't have insurances, health insurances, and most of them have a very strong stigma about mental health. And we need to remove that through education and helping them to get the right help, the right approaches to help them with the family.
You spoke about the programs that you have, so also the stigma. I know most of the societies hold this stigma. People are not that easily ready to go even for counseling, because the moment I go to you for counseling, my family is going to tell me that, oh, he has got some problem here. When I meant here, some things are not right upstairs.
In Spanish we call it no estás loco.
There you go.
So crazy.
Yeah, that he's crazy. So he's going to, and I don't want to be called a crazy person. I don't want to use that word, mad. So people do have that stigma. So what kind of program do you have, or what are the ways that you are using in order to get rid of this tendency from the people, and to making them realize that this is normal, and there is nothing wrong in going to a psychologist for a counseling. It is very similar to going to a doctor when you have a fever or when you have a problem and getting a prescription medication. How do you do that, or how can we do that?
Yeah, the easiest way is to have like a big events where they can have the education, and we call it Simposio de la Familia. We started with this
Family
3 years,
symposium.
Family Symposium, and we had the parents in one side getting the education about how to talk to how to talk to their kids about drugs addiction, which are the consequences, how to prevent suicides, how to prevent their kids to falling into depression, and how to handle conflict, and a lot of different themes about mental health. And then at the same time, we have the youth in another side getting this education in English for them, how to discover if they want to commit suicide, or they're in high risk of committing suicide, how to handle if they want to use drugs, what to do. So different mental health issues too with them. And the kids, we start with the kids too in English. So we have the three parts: English, and the Spanish for the parents. And then we bring them together at the end of the day. And these events are very successful because it's at the end of the day bilingual, and the priests usually use the spirituality factor, so we can gather the family in the same spirit of Jesus Christ and the healing process through the power of Jesus. And but we use during the day, we use all the scientific information that they need, so they go home knowing real answers to their problem, and how they can get help.
Safe Harbor, this Catholic Institute, do you have a physical structure somewhere in Inland Empire where you have your office and you have people working with you, or is it something that as an institute you have, say, like a mobile program? How do you do that?
Yeah, we have our center or Safe Harbor headquarters on Our Lady of Guadalupe at Chino, because it's our main pastor and our chairman. And we have a house there where we serve. We have 3 offices there. We have another office in St. Edwards. It's a permanent office in Corona with Father Hector.
Yes.
And also we are opening another office with Father Bennett Rancho Cucamonga, Sacred Heart. And then if we are invited by the parishes to go and give some programs over there, we are happy to do it. That's our mission.
Thank you, Rocio. I know these are beautiful and very informative information, so that people can at least contact either Sacred Heart or Saint Edward or Our Lady of Guadalupe in Chino, so that they are able to get in touch with you as well as get the needed help. Now we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, I want to get a little more information with regard to this program that you have. So also why you are concentrating on the group of people that you're concentrating on. Okay?
Sounds great.
So we'll do all those things when we come back. Please don't go away. I'm sure you have already been informed of the mental health and the rampant issues that brings to the society today, especially after during this post-pandemic era. So stay with us. Rocio has a lot to share for us. Welcome back. We are having this beautiful dialogue with Rocio Garcia Reyes, who has this institute called Safe Harbor Catholic Institute. And I have a question with regard to what is happening today in our society. They say this age is seeing the biggest exodus in history. We had the exodus in the Old Testament, of the people, the Israelites fleeing Egypt and coming to the promised land, and then from that time onwards we have had different kind of exodus. But they say this age is seeing the biggest exodus. People are moving there from their own so-called country to other places, either for the reason of money, economy, better living, or for political reasons, where they are being persecuted by the rulers or the ruling entity, or because of religious reason. And in the process of this, there's a lot of mismanagement, exploitation, fear, anxiety, uncertainty of what's going to happen. What do you think the society needs to do, and how can we deal with this situation of anxiety and problem?
Well, first of all, we need to understand that the place they're coming from, they're leaving everything. And they're traumatized because they left family, they left their safe place, they left everything to come into a new place where they don't know the language, they don't know the how to connect with people. So it's hard for them. So they have this diagnosis that we call adjustment disorder. Since the beginning, when they get here in trauma, adjustment disorder, and since the day one when they come over here, plus the trauma because they went through a lot in their way over here. Yeah. In the first place, when they start working here, some of them are exploited, and the first place where they go is the church. And usually they go to mass and they go to see people around the church.
Go to Catholic charities?
Yeah. No, really,
no?
They go to the offices asking for help. I need to see the priest because my son wants to commit suicide. It's hard for them to adjust to a new society. So, my marriage, my husband is getting into alcoholism or drugs addiction or any type of substance that can mitigate their suffering. So with the trauma that they're carrying, it's easily for them to go to fall in drugs, to fall in mental issues. So they go to church asking for help, and sometimes our society is not ready for this situation. So we need to provide this preparation of first aid mental health to our staff at the churches, at the parishes. So they're ready to do the right thing when there is someone that comes to church. I want to see the doctor. I want to see the priest because I want to commit suicide, or I just hit my wife, or we got into domestic violence at home. There was 200% increase after COVID-19, and sexual abuse. It was 300% at home, and it was hard to prevent. So the first place where they go is the church. That's why it's very important to our society to understand the need of our people, so we can provide the right tools and help them with those situations.
You know, it's interesting that you say that the first place that they go to is church. Why? Because
usually they come from poor countries, and they're looking for what is the safe place at their hometown. Usually they're Catholics and they go to church at their hometown, and when they immigrate to this country, they look for the same place, the only place they can feel safe. So they go to the parish looking for safety.
You know, Rocio, it's a very interesting thing to understand and realize, you know. They come to the church and they feel safe. Are we able to provide everything that they are looking for?
No, not everything, because we talk to the priest, and they always say, you know what, Rocio, I don't know what to do. When they come to me and they were sexually abused, and they are presenting symptoms of trauma. It's hard for them to hear about God when they were, sexually abused. So I need a professional to take care of them, to help them to overcome
because
those traumas.
The reason I asked is, okay, we say that, oh, God will take care of you, everything will be fine. I don't think that kind of a consoling words are enough. They need something in action, something to make sure that everything will be fine. They need to see it, and they need to experience that, because that's the reason why they are coming. Only then they can realize, yes, church is a safe. I mean, they have that that understanding and feeling, but they need to get that assertion, right?
Exactly, and there is a lot of secretaries from parishes that they told to me, and you know what, Rocio, I don't know what to do when they
Exactly,
come
yeah.
to me. I'm not prepared to do anything. So that's what we
So,
need to provide that.
are you planning
training.
or are you preparing anything, as part of the Safe Harbor, Catholic Institute? Are you planning or are you working with priests and the parishes to have training programs for the church personnel, like the church secretaries, church, people who are, so that when they have people coming in, at least they know what are the initial things to be attended to.
That is called first aid mental health training. And we
Ah.
have the trainer to provide in English and in
So
Spanish.
first aid mental health.
Uh-huh.
So this is like the other first aid for our
Exactly.
physical things. So this is a first aid for mental health.
health.
What do you do?
Usually we train the staff with first we teach them how to identify when they're in danger. The person, we call it client, but the parishioner is in danger, and if they have to call 911, because 911 is not just to call the police, but it's also they have a team of specialized people that assess the person and make sure that they're going to be fine. If they're going to be fine, they let him stay. But if he's on risk, they take him for 3 days. We call it 5150. So they can protect their
Say
life.
again, 51?
5150. That's
Why
the
is that?
code. I'm not sure, but we call it 5150.
5150, yeah.
So they detain that person for 3
3
days
days.
to make sure that he doesn't hurt himself. Or if it's needed for more than that, sometimes a month. So they make sure that he doesn't hurt, or he doesn't take his life away. So we train the staff to identify the symptoms so they can do the right procedure. If they have to call 911, or if they don't, what they can do, how they can create a plan with the family so they can keep him safe. It's a one-day training with a lot of the main issues and the main factors, symptoms that we need to be aware of.
So how can we incorporate Jesus, faith, Bible, prayer into that? How do you, what will you say?
Usually in therapy session, there is a part of EMDR where we stimulate the brain of the person, but at the same time we are praying inside. We pray in silence, so we let the Holy Spirit to work, to do His job when we are doing ours, and we see a big difference on the client or the patient when we incorporate the power of our faith and of our prayer. Also, we motivate our clients to get in touch with, and we have all the information at the office about marriage encounters, about retrovalle,
yes.
about retreats, and also we are working very close with these two programs, addictions programs, because they are the social and spiritual support. It's called Barrios Unidos, and the other one it's called addictions. It's about addictions. I forgot the other name. Yeah. But we're working with them and to provide the scientific part and the therapeutic, and they provide the other part, spiritual. But in therapy sessions, we also include some type of spirituality. Yeah, we don't evangelize per se, but we do keep our office is beautiful because we have the Holy Mary, and we have the Jesus on the other side, and the or doors, glass doors. We have a beautiful picture.
I know, you say you don't evangelize, but then that is definitely an evangelization, because the fact that prayer is incorporated, I think that's always a evangelization, because of course prayer meditation is one good way of getting rid of anxiety and depression. If I can spend 10 minutes every day in prayer, I think that's going to give me a lot of peace of mind.
And actually, instead of asking them to use one of the regular scientific methods, sometimes we use those as a therapeutic approaches. We use like go to meditation, go to a Loyola.
The retreat program.
Yeah, retreat program. We ask them to go to the Holy Sacrament as well.
And then have a prayer
healing
in front
masses,
healing masses, prayer before the Blessed Sacrament. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming to Wordnet and sharing your ministry and your passion for being at service to those people who are going through this mental struggle.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I really believe that I was called to be ambassador of hope. And this is not my work, it's the Lord's work. And I know He's going to provide. And the next event is going to be Simposio de la Familia in February 24. So I hope everybody can attend to this program. We already have more than 800 people. So the next time probably we're going to go to 2,000 people, and then we can give them more.
Let it happen. Let it happen. Let it happen. And our prayers, and we will also be all the information will be on this program as well. Thank you so much for what you do, and keep up the good work, and let's just bring that joy and peace. That is what we need to bring to our families and our society. Thank you so much for being with us, and I'm sure you enjoyed this dialogue with Rocio and have received a lot of information. Please don't hesitate to contact her if you need any help. Being a psychotherapist, she will be more than happy to help you all. And out there, all of you, take care of yourself and make sure that everybody is happy and contented in life. Be at peace.